All right, Shalom. Kahala Yahweh Bahashem, Yahushai Bahashem, Rakahak Radash. Shalom and salutations and double honors again to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, where I continue to learn this 100% truth from. Shalom to the elder bishops, the elders and the prophets, the teachers and evangelists also of Great Millstone, where I continue to learn 100% truth from. And I got a couple of videos that I wanted to play. Just kind of updated news, what's going on, what's happening before the night ends. Like Elder Apostle Sahar says, you miss a day, you miss a lot. So it's one of my first of my videos. I'm gonna let it play and spirit on me. I'll bring out certain scriptures.
To freeze the financial system, and they'll replace it with a new system, one not based on the U.S. dollar. When that happens, we'll wake up to a very strange thing. When the next crisis hits, the elites are planning to freeze the financial system, and they'll replace it with a new system, one not based on the U.S. dollar. When that happens, we'll wake up to a very strange and disturbing new reality.
And for our viewers that are watching today, what might their reality look like that morning? How does this manifest?
First, they'll have gone to bed knowing that a massive financial crisis was underway. But when they wake up, they'll find it has worsened and the contagion has spread worldwide. When they go to withdraw money, their ATM will say, closed temporarily. When they go to sell stocks, their account will say, transaction not available. When they go to their local business, that business will only accept cash if it's open. As citizens realize they're being barred from their money, riots will erupt. They've rigged the financial laws, changed the rules of the game to allow this to happen. The stage is set. They have the levers in place. The lights are positioned. Now someone just needs to flick a switch. When the next crisis hits, the elites are planning to freeze the financial system.
So let me go to the next video. So you see what's going on. They're planning another shutdown. And it's going to happen sooner than you think. Let's get a scripture real quick. Right here. Second Esdras 15 and 16, it reads, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go to a city and shall not be able to." So this is a shutdown that's coming real soon. Okay? Let's get to the next one.
And they'll replace it with a new system, one not based on the U.S. dollar. When that happens, we'll wake up.
Right now, several Gulf countries are reporting incoming missiles despite the announcement of a 2-week ceasefire. This is video of missiles fired at Israel tonight. The Israeli military blames Iran. In Tehran, pro-government demonstrators have taken to the streets, urging the government to continue fighting. President Trump has pulled back on his threats to attack civilian targets in Iran, writing on Truth Social, "The U.S. has met and exceeded all military objectives." Let's begin with ABC 7 Eyewitness News reporter Tim Johns in the newsroom tonight with a look at what this ceasefire means for people here at home. And Tim, the rising prices we've seen since the war started.
Dan, this war has been raging for over 5 weeks now. What's happened over that time period has changed many things, not just in the Middle East, but also right here in the Bay Area. After over a month of war, the U.S. and Iran agreed to a ceasefire Tuesday. The announcement coming just hours before President Trump's 5 p.m. deadline for the Iranian government to reach an agreement in a conflict that's reshaped the Middle East.
I think we will see an Iran that is militarily weaker. There's no doubting the fact that, Iran's Air Force, Iran's Navy have been hit very hard by the United States.
Karthika Sasikumar is a political science professor at San Jose State University. She says despite the 2-week ceasefire, there are still many details to work out. one of them being long-term access to the critical shipping route through the Strait of Hormuz. Another, Iran's nuclear program, which President Trump says cannot continue.
They're even less likely now to give up their potential to have a nuclear weapons program than they were before these hostilities began.
Since the fighting began, the price of oil has increased substantially. It has started dropping since the ceasefire.
It started at, it was 122 before this war started, and now it's at what, 498, maybe $5 a gallon now. So it's moving, man. It's moving fast.
Announced, but UC Berkeley professor Severin Bornstein believes it will take a long time before drivers see prices at the pump drop to pre-war levels.
Because first of all, there's a lot of uncertainty about what's going to happen in 2 weeks. And secondly, we don't know how much damage has been done to the oil fields and the other oil infrastructure during this war.
While it's unclear at this point whether the ceasefire will hold, one thing that seems certain is the war has changed the Middle East. And depending on what happens next, Sasi Kumar says the region could be in for a period of increased uncertainty.
It's been a
This is First Thessalonians. Mm. 5:3 in the reads. But when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Sirach 5:7. Make no tarrying to turn to Yahweh thy power, and put not off from day to day, for suddenly shall the wrath of Yahweh thy power come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance.
delicate balancing act for the United States, right? Because the U.S. has tried to balance the need to keep its ally Israel safe with the need to keep the oil flowing, to keep the Gulf allies happy. But that balance may no longer be possible.
It's not possible. This war is going to continue to escalate. Let's get another one.
American and Iranian officials are set to have their first round of talks this upcoming Friday in Pakistan.
I was just sent this headline. A friend then asked, what's it like to be right all the time? And I said, exhausting. That's what it is. It is 1:54 p.m. East Coast time, and within the last hour, we have breaking news that Iran has now closed the Strait of Hormuz once again, not even 24 hours into the so-called ceasefire. That is because Israel will not stop striking Lebanon. They are committing genocide in Lebanon, specifically hitting residential and commercial areas where people shop and eat and live and go to school and go to work and all of those things. As I learned about this story, I was simultaneously watching Caroline with 3K's Levitt, the White House press secretary, give her press briefing for the afternoon in front of a bunch of reporters, where she was talking about all of the achievements and accomplishments of Operation Epic Fury. When she was done touting all of these things that she and the White House and the president and Pete Hegseth and the military have done, the journalists were like, hey, just so you know, this news right here, that broke. Iran has closed the strait. She said, that's fake news. The Associated Press apparently is fake news, as is every other outlet around the world. Okay, just so we're clear. On top of that, in that same White House press briefing, she went ahead and disclosed that the President of the United States, Donald Trump, was on the phone last night with Bibi Netanyahu. And so people who are saying in my comments and everywhere else online that this is on the Israelis, not on the Americans, you are incorrect. It quite literally doesn't matter whose plane has what flag on which aircraft or who is pushing the button to fire that missile. We, as Americans, we fund Israel. We fund their military. We fund everything from the planes to the weapons to everything else. So you can have a blue and white flag on an airplane, but we are still funding that airplane to hit the skies and also to then kill people below. We are complicit in a genocide. Period.
Yeah, it's coming. Everything that has been warned to you is coming. That's why the scalpers ain't talking like they used to.
Flipping news coming out that it has been confirmed by the president, the FBI, the governor of California, that California is in fact being targeted by Iran for a retaliatory attack as a result of the war, the conflict going on with the Middle East. Now, I'm going to get you caught up on the latest as we're also hearing that sleeper cells are a major concern, and the United States actually has been hit by Iran in the last 24 hours by a cyber attack as they are looking to wreak havoc on U.S. society by taking down critical infrastructure systems. In addition to that, we've also heard this morning that the new supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, the son of the previous supreme leader, has come out and made a statement, and he is vowing there will be revenge and retaliation. There will be blood on the adversaries of Iran, aka the United States. They are planning attacks against the U.S. Let me get you caught up on the latest so that way you can see what's been unfolding. As of this morning, top U.S. drone experts say that Iran could make a deadly California strike at any second. We are extremely vulnerable, they are warning. Now, even though we're hearing this warning coming out from experts, take a look at this.
This is 2 Corinthians 11 and 13, and it reads, "For such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into apostles, into the apostles of Hamashiach. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light." That's right. You got to watch out for these false and fake apostles. They're not the elder apostles of Great Millstone, who are the true men of Yahweh Shah on down. You got to watch out for these phonies, man. And also these sleeper cells that are in the land. This is not a time to be going on vacations out of the country and taking cruises, and you know what I'm saying. There's so much going on, and the ones who don't get it and don't understand and don't know what's happening is Jake. You know what I'm saying. But everybody else around y'all see what's happening, and you're not being circumspect at all. Y'all just letting whatever happens, and it's all good until it actually happens.
California officials downplay information that Iran may be targeting their state with drone strikes. California officials say that they were aware of the information in various news reports that Iran could be targeting the U.S. with drone strikes in retaliation for the ongoing war in Iran, but many are downplaying that threat. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. But take a look at this. Live updates coming out today. Iran's supreme leader issues his first statement vowing to avenge those killed in the war, threatening the United States of America. And as I mentioned, Iran expands war with major cyber attack against U.S. companies. And in addition to that, we actually heard from the president. Take a look at this coming out this morning. Trump monitoring the possible terror sleeper cells and the potential for Iranian drone attacks in California. They have been confirmed. They are real. California is marked as a target. Now, in addition to that, I also shared with you the warning that had come out. Let's go ahead and take a look at this really quick here. The map that showed us the various cities they said that need to be on high alert. And you can see here on the West Coast, they have San Diego, Los Angeles, Irvine, San Jose, Silicon Valley. Now, those were some of the ones that were primarily named as areas of concern. Now, they had also put on extreme alert Austin, Texas, which we actually saw a lone wolf attack take place in Tampa, Florida. But for California, there are warnings coming out for those specific cities: San Diego, LA, Irvine, San Jose, and Silicon Valley. Now, as more information comes out, I'll be sure to keep you up to date, but let's take a look at the latest that's been coming out today so that way you can be aware of everything taking place. And let me know your thoughts in the comments. Are you concerned about these threats that have been coming out in the last 24 hours? If so, put yes. If no, put no. Let me know your thoughts. Now, before we dive in.
So this is Micah 7 and 5, and it reads, "Trust ye not in a friend. Put ye not confidence in a guide. Keep the doors of thy mouth from her that lieth in thy bosom. For the son dishonoreth the father, the daughter raiseth up against her mother, the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. A man's enemies are the men of his own house." Salagi, let me get another scripture. Let me get another video.
Do me a America cannot leave this war, and here is exactly why. The moment America withdraws from the Middle East, a 5-step chain reaction begins that would destroy the American economy permanently. Step 1. The Gulf states fall under Iranian influence and become Iranian client states. Step 2. The petrodollar collapses. The GCC stops selling oil in US dollars, destroying the mechanism that allows America to function with $39 trillion in debt. Step 3. Japan and South Korea immediately begin the largest military buildup in their post-war history, no longer trusting American protection. Step 4. Europe concludes America is retreating globally, makes peace with Russia and NATO.
Fair use, fair use, fair use. I know how your devils get down. Fair use. I'm not getting paid for this, just for educational purposes only. You know what I'm saying? Fair use.
Fractures. Step 5. The US dollar loses reserve currency status. Nations stop buying American debt. The economy collapses. This is why America is stuck. The cost of staying is enormous, but the cost of leaving is catastrophic. Iran knows this. Iran has always known this. The Strait of Hormuz is not just a waterway. It is.
And this is why this war is going to escalate and continue to keep going. It's not going to go backwards. Even if, they tried the ceasefire thing, and you see how that is, because Israel, the least of the flock shall draw them out. And Israel, the Most High put on them to draw blood. Destructive, man. These ain't never fucking devils. Excuse my language. All right, this is the last one. Let's check it out.
The key that locks America.
If Trump decides to strike Iran's critical infrastructure,
Believe it or not, truthfully, Trump don't really want to continue on in this war, but he's getting his orders from his superiors, and they're telling him to keep it moving forward because they have an agenda to set up the MLTB for the NWO. So Trump gonna continue to do what he's doing, know that his reputation is no more good. But it doesn't matter because he'd rather have a no good reputation than to be wiped off the face of the earth, and his family as well. You know what I'm saying? On the torture. So because they don't care about anything or no one you related to. You know what I mean? They have an agenda and they intend to fulfill it. And it doesn't matter who is in the way, they will be moved out of the way.
Structure. Iran will force them to pay a price beyond their imagination. Iran is prepared for all-out war. It has not shown its true power yet. It is holding back. And all those family dictatorships in the Persian Gulf, in Qatar, these proxies of the regime in Washington, the Emirates, the Bahraini regime, the Saudi regime, the Kuwaiti regime, all of them, every single one of them, they are complicit in this war. They assisted the United States in slaughtering Iranians. They've been assisting the United States for all these years in all their wars, whether in Yemen or whether in Iraq. When they invaded Iraq, these countries, these regimes, they had funded Saddam Hussein in the 1980s. They gave him hundreds of billions of dollars. But when their masters in Washington told them to turn against Saddam Hussein, they did so immediately. So these regimes will pay the ultimate price within hours. As soon as Trump starts targeting Iran's electrical power plants, everything on the other side of the Persian Gulf will be wrecked. And so my advice to people in these countries is to leave tonight, because we don't know what this madman in Washington wants to do. He is completely irrational. He is moody. He has mood swings. He says one thing now and he'll say something completely different in an hour from now. So we have no idea where he's going to go, but we're prepared for the worst. And we've already shown him that. The Iranians have already shown him that. When the Israeli regime struck Iran's critical gas infrastructure, the consent of the United States. Trump is lying that he didn't know. The U.S. did know. If he personally did not know, that just shows how ignorant he is. But when they struck, Iran immediately hit back very hard, and Trump was forced to back off because he knows what this means. So if they strike Iran's critical infrastructure, that will be the end of oil and gas in the Persian Gulf, and the same is true for the regime in Baku, which is a close ally of the Israeli regime. Their oil and gas will no longer be exported in the near future. So Trump has to be very careful, because if this happens, then it no longer matters if the Strait of Hormuz is opened or not. If there is some sort of agreement, there will be no more oil or gas or petrochemicals and those ships to take those non-existent oil and gas and petrochemicals.
Yeah, you can tell he's being forced. He's being forced to do what he's doing. It's Luke 21 and 34, and it reads, "And take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with Sophidying, I gotta look that word up, and drunkenness, and cares of this life, and so that day come upon you unawares. For as a snare shall it come on all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth." Let's look that word up. 134. And that's Yahweh speaking, but
Strong's G 2897, Kraipale. Thayer's Lexicon, related entry, Krepale.
It says the giddiness and headache caused by drinking wine to excess. Okay.
And that would lead to a global economic crash that the world has never seen in the last century. It will be far worse than 1929. And the world will know that this is Trump's doing. And it is all for Zionism. And if anyone asks, why is Iran striking back at these regimes? Because without their support, without giving the U.S. their airspace, without giving the U.S. their territory, without allowing the U.S. to fire missiles from their territory on a daily basis, there would be no war today. So they are fully complicit. And Iran did not start this war, and Iran did not start striking infrastructure. Everything that Iran has done till now has been in retaliation. So hopefully the madman in Washington, someone will force him to comprehend that the price that he will pay for this is beyond imagination. But Iran is prepared. Iran will not back down. And it is waiting for the 48 hours to finish to see what it has to do. If Trump decides
I like it. And this, I'm gonna get one more scripture.
to strike,
One more scripture. Bear me 1 second. What's the scripture where it says the king's heart is in the hands of the Lord?
The scripture you're looking for is Proverbs chapter 21, verse 1. It says the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, emphasizing God's control over even the most powerful leaders, like a farmer guides water.
Salaki, I don't know where I left off at, but this is Proverbs 21 and 1. The king's heart is in the hand of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whatsoever he will. And that's what it is. Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, controls all things, including these kings. So what's happening is prophecy, and it's inevitable. Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, is putting the spirit on these nations and their rulers to go to war. And he's also put into Bibi to continue to strike, even when America is pushing for negotiation to make a deal or to ceasefire. Doesn't matter. Israel, through Yahweh and Yahushai, is continuing on with the fight. And it's going to continue to escalate. We're going to get hyperinflation, which is on the way, pestilence, famine of the word is coming. All these things are about to hit real hard. And Jake really gonna see what's really good, because it ain't all good. I'm about to tell you edified with the lesson. With that, I'm gonna say, Call Lord Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai B'Hashem Kakradah Shalom. Salutations, double honors again to the elder apostle GMS on Dana Shalom, to the elect Shalom.